Welcome back to the PowerMax Mini Challenge from Snetterton. David Grady may have been having a tough time in the Gen 3s yesterday, but it was a very different story for current Cooper leader Nathan Harrison. So Nathan, a really good race for you yesterday. How are things looking in terms of championship?
Yeah, it was a really good race yesterday. We qualified well. It was the first time in a dry. We managed to win the first race. Championship, we haven't quite sorted it out. Some people are saying we have won it and we haven't got to go out today. And some people are saying we do.
So what are you going to do? You are going to race, aren't you?
Yeah, might as well get my money's worth for the weekend.
So what's the strategy then if you go out? What are you going to do?
Just keep it safe and don't do anything stupid and just finish.
A confident and relaxed Nathan Harrison going into this first race of the day. We have got Mark Wakefield on pole position. Let's get the rest of the grid from Ben.
So the Cooper class always give us some great racing. This is how they line up with Mark Wakefield and Simon Walton on the front row. Ahead of Ricky Page and Nathan Harrison, then Martin Poole and Max Lever. Now, in terms of the championship, Nathan Harrison just needs to finish the race to claim the title. Let's see if he can do it. Away we go. And that is a rocket ship of a start for Ricky Page. He anticipated the lights very well, but unfortunately from the second row of the grid, he's going to be slightly boxed in. So it's Mark Wakefield who leads as the Cooper pack turn into riches for the first time. There's the yellow car of Henry Neal. He is looking to try and chase down Max Bladen as they're all cleanly through riches on towards the Montreal hairpin for the first time. 2 or 3 wide as they all look to gain places in these early stages, because overtaking around the Snetterton 300 circuit can be a little bit challenging. These cars are so evenly matched. We have seen some great dicing throughout the year. Turn through Palmer on towards Agostini. Towards the back of the field, there's Adrian Norman looking to make a little bit of progress, as is Joe Polly just behind him, in car with Henry Neal. The road is slightly full ahead of him, but there's a little gap possibly to the inside of Max Lever, which closes on the inside of Agostini. They head on towards Hamilton. At the front of the field it is still Mark Wakefield who is leading the way. And Wakefield has got Nathan Harrison just bottled up behind him. Of course, Harrison just needs to finish the race. He doesn't need to take any undue risks as Henry Neal heads out of Williams. He's got James Goodall just behind him as they head on to the Bentley Straight for the first time. All of them forming up in this queue behind Wakefield. Wakefield at the moment doing exactly what he needs to do, which is sticking to the racing line, letting the others do the hard work. It's then Harrison just tucked up behind him. Then we've also got Simon Walton going strongly in these early stages. Ricky Page, the red and white car, in 4th place. So they turn out of the bomb hole and accelerate on towards Coram Curve. Coram now a very different proposition to how it used to be, because it really does tighten on the exit into the flick at Murray's, which is so important for the run along the centre straight, and that feeds to one of the better overtaking opportunities. On that also going well is the blue and orange car of Max Bladen. He's bringing the yellow car of Henry Neal with him for company, as now as they come up over the start and finish line, it is Simon Walton who is looking to make the challenge on Mark Wakefield, and as a result it's Nathan Harrison who's been shuffled down into 3rd place. And now Ricky Page looks to further demote Nathan Harrison as Page gets it all wrong, bounces across the grass in the exit of riches. It leaves an opening for Henry Neal to the inside into Montreal. How many places is Neal going to get? He takes about 4 cars. Brilliant move from Henry Neal. He elevates himself up into 2nd position. Simon Walton looks to fight back, but Walton has got Max Bladen right alongside him as they turn into Palmer. Bladen with that outside track might just be able to carry the momentum. Very fair driving from Simon Walton. He doesn't squeeze Max Bladen out onto the grass. Only now does Walton move back into position in 3rd place. Head in towards Hamilton, and of course all of this battling is just going to give Wakefield the opportunity to momentarily get a little bit of a jump on the field as Bladen looks to the inside of Simon Walton, goes through, claims 3rd place. So they turned into Oggies. Ricky Page also looking to recover from his grassy moment, and that is a problem for Nathan Harrison. And Nathan Harrison, who just needs to finish the race to win the championship. Now, is that a mechanical issue, or was that possibly just a little bit of a spin? There's a change for the lead. Henry Neal takes the lead of the race away from Mark Wakefield coming down the Bentley Straight. Neil, of course, the son of British Touring Car Championship legend Matt Neal, is really learning his craft very well in the Power Max Mini Challenge. He has become an increasing presence at the very sharp end of the field as 2015 has unfolded. Now he has really got a fight here to try and claim a debut Mini Challenge victory, as he has got Mark Wakefield and Max Bladen forming a queue behind him. The good news is for both of them, they have rather broken away from the Ricky Page train just behind. Neil leads the field into riches. Both Wakefield and Bladen looking to try and find any sort of opening as they head on towards Montreal. And Neil makes the slight mistake, puts two wheels over the curb, it flicks the car sideways. He gathers it up nicely and moves across immediately to the inside of the road, making sure there is no way past for Wakefield. And as Wakefield looked to try and challenge it, suddenly brings Max Bladen into the mix. Bladen, the blue and orange car, third in the race, third in that queue, just bobbing and weaving, filling Mark Wakefield's mirrors. Of course, as he distracts Wakefield, that just gives Henry Neal the slight opening to try and ease way at the front of the pack. Well, here is a replay. In car with Simon Walton, passed on all sides, going through Brundle and Nelson, squeezed out to the grass. He lost about 4 places in 2 corners, but I'm sure that he'll fight back. Meanwhile, the leading train of cars sees a switch for second place. Max Bladen up ahead of Mark Wakefield. So Bladen goes second, Wakefield down to third. Now, in true mini racing fashion, they've now got to start working together to use the slipstream to come back towards Henry Neal, and then the three of them, they've got the luxury of a lap or two. If they run as a train, it will allow them to break away from Max Lever and Ricky Page, squabbling behind. But I'm not sure that Max Bladen's read the script. He looked to the outside of Henry Neal, possibly to try and challenge into Brundle and Nelson. It didn't quite happen, so they come out of Nelson and now on towards the bomb hole, and Bladen is glued to Henry Neal's bumper. Now, does that force Neal to defend into Coram Curve? It certainly does. He moves right across to the inside of the track. That might just compromise his entry speed for Coram. At the same time, Max Bladen, you saw, carried a bit too much momentum in, had to get on the anchors midway through Coram. He slows down, isn't as quick through Murray's, and suddenly that brings back Mark Wakefield right back into the mix. So across the line they go. A track limits warning flag being shown to somebody as we head into the final lap of the race. Now, can Henry Neal withstand this pressure for another 3 miles or so? It's being held quite a lot here with Mark Wakefield, anxious of course to get second place. He and Bladen could well end up slowing themselves down. Through Montreal, all of them up onto 3 wheels, almost 2 wheels mid-corner. Really use the momentum of the circuit to good effect, and then into Palmer, left-hander that will flick them on towards Agostini. Now Agostini, if Max Bladen is feeling brave, is somewhere that he could look to challenge, and Bladen certainly fancies it. Henry Neal has got the car perfectly positioned. He covers the inside line as the rest of the field continue to scrap for position. Coming out of Agostini, it's almost 3 wide into Hamilton for the final time. And again, Mark Wakefield looks to the inside of Max Bladen. Bladen just a little bit sideways, brings Wakefield right onto his rear spoiler. And the next half lap is going to feel like an absolute eternity for these 3 drivers. They've also got to be careful because Max Lever is not too far adrift either, in 4th position on to the Bentley Straight. Wakefield's got the toe behind Bladen now. Can Bladen latch himself towards Henry Neal? He's not close enough to Neal to challenge him into Brundle and Nelson, and that means that Henry Neal defends a little bit, but really just covering the track position more than really darting to the inside. So that means he carries a good amount of momentum out of Nelson in towards the bomb hole for the final time, and this is now going to have to be an absolutely phenomenal series of corners for Max Bladen or Mark Wakefield. They want to wrestle the win away from Henry Neal, who has done everything right on this last lap. We have got just 2 corners to go, and Bladen carries the pace through Coram Curve. Henry Neal gets the car squared off, or does he? He's just slightly wide at Murray's. He puts 2 wheels on the curb, it's not enough to slow him down. It's now just the run along the centre straight, the checker flag is poised, ready and waiting, and Henry Neal celebrates victory in the Power Max Mini Challenge Cooper class at Snetterton. An absolutely brilliant performance from Neal. Second place going to Max Bladen and third for Mark Wakefield. Brilliant racing as ever from the Coopers. Here is the classification then, with victory for Neal, clear of Bladen and Wakefield. Max Lever in fourth from Ricky Page, but in 14th place Nathan Harrison took the flag and therefore the Cooper class championship. Congratulations all around Henry Neal from his team and competitors. That was Mini Challenge racing at its very, very best. Clean, close and competitive. It's Henry Neal who takes his place on the top step of the Snetterton podium.
Henry beaming with joy. That's your first win in the Mini Challenge, and emotional.
Yeah, completely emotional. I just never think it was going to happen, and that last lap was the most intense moment of my life, I think. When I saw that checker flag and the boys on the wall, I was over the moon. I just couldn't hold back the tears.
Yeah, you do, bless you. Max, you were putting the pressure on Henry, didn't quite manage to do it.
Oh no, yeah, it was a really hard race, and obviously I started from 7th, so even though I didn't win it, it was good to get on the podium, but I tried my hardest on Henry, and yeah, he held his own, and I've got to congratulate him for his first win in the Mini Challenge.
But yeah, absolutely brilliant race. You know, got a cracking start, and they both overtook me. And I did try a couple of moves on Max, but it just wasn't meant to be.
That was by no means the perfect race for Nathan Harrison, but I'm pretty sure that has secured him the championship. We will find out and confirm that for you very, very shortly. However, that was most definitely Henry Neal's race. So pleased with his first win in the Mini Challenge. Congratulations. And we will have more racing for you here at Snetterton after the break, and it's the decider for the turbos.